Okay, so finally we're back. Sorry guys for the delay with the mic and everything, but hola Madridistas, welcome to the preview for match day 7 in this year's edition of the Champions League group stage. And it's not been pretty so far. Yeah, we've been down in 20th place, and but at least we had to win that crucial match against Atlanta, and we're here. We only have 2 points that separates us from the likes of PSG and whatnot, but at least we're here, and we just need to win one more of our games to actually guarantee a place in the knockouts and whatnot. So yeah, excited to be back in the Champions League, and but we got to take this game by day. And then to break this down, I'm joined today by Farooq for a first ever meeting, between our sides, RB Salzburg and Real Madrid. But before we get started, a quick shout out to, of course, the sponsors for this episode, Manscaped, the guys who have it all: shampoos, lotions, beard oils, trimmers, you name it, they got it. So if you're looking to upgrade the way you look and feel, head on over to manscaped.com and use code LBR20 for 20% off and free shipping. Right, man, Farooq, how you been? You've been patiently listening, me going and ranting on and on about how our group stages went. Do you think I basically covered basically all of our content for this podcast?
More or less, man, more or less. I mean, that's just it. It's like we're 28 in a 24-man league, and we're just 2 points ahead of the guys who are outside of the 24th position. I think Paris is 25th, and Stuttgart also is 26th. They all have 7 points. Just 2 points less than what we have, and it's interesting. And one more thing also, I think it's the first time since I started watching football that there's a Champions League in January as well. Match day 7 and match day 8 as well. So like these are like very interesting and new times, I would say. So it
Really
takes a bit
interesting
of
times. Okay,
adapting.
I mean, is this a good time to evaluate, like, the experiment that this Champions League group stage has been? Have you found it more enjoyable than previous years' Champions Leagues?
I mean, for a fan, I think as a product, I think it's honestly like increased that jeopardy because we saw, the games that I mean, we played Liverpool, we played AC Milan, we played Borussia Dortmund. I think it's impossible to have had this such high tides, in the group stages. And and right now, as we were saying, like Paris is already out of the automatic qualification. We're just doing a bit better than Man City. So like, there's a lot of jeopardy for, I mean, when you start the season, who are the two favorites to win the title? It's Man City and Real Madrid, and we're 20th and 22nd right now in the table of 24 teams. You understand? So if this was, to increase the competitiveness, it's certainly, achieved a bit of that. I mean, from a neutral perspective, I think it's been quite interesting. You have more games and you're able to, to watch the team more. And honestly, it's pitted a lot of good ties. Even tomorrow as well, we have Man City against Paris Saint-Germain as well. Where literally it's almost a straight shootout because if Paris lose that or Man City lose that, it's going to be very difficult to qualify. But so yeah, it's created a lot of excitement. Like it's increased, I think, the value that the products or rather the entertainment that the products provides to us the fans. But then when you look at it from the perspective of a Real Madrid fan, no, definitely it's been unnecessary. It's extra games for the players, and literally, like, you're going into games without players, you're going into games with players injured, suspended, this and that. So like it's been unnecessary. And yeah, we are currently sitting where we are because of the structure as well. If we've had a different structure, we most likely wouldn't have been in the 20th place, struggling to play a playoff as well.
Yeah, I mean, for a neutral, there's definitely like bigger names, on these match sheets. But then the thing is, these games like hardly matter. You can afford to lose a game against Liverpool. Like, even if we had faced against Man City, I don't think we would have been that excited. Maybe just bragging rights would be the max that are the stakes. But basically, like, we could have basically coasted and then just made sure we won our games against the likes of Brest, the likes of Sporting, and then you could basically just carry over and survive until the next stage of the competition. So the stakes aren't that high, but it's still a good place, to see where your team is in terms of, fitness, in terms of tactics. Are you ready to actually face off against the big guns? And so far, as a Real Madrid fan, the answer is no. We can't even win against the likes of AC Milan. So hopefully.
Yeah, unfortunately. Well, as you said, that's the thing. Like, that's also a double-edged sword of the new format as well. It also like creates the fact that, okay, I mean, right now we've won how many games? We've won 2 games, right? I think we've played 5, we've won 2, or we've played 6 and we won 2, if I'm not mistaken, or 3. No, we won.
I think we
Yeah, we won 3 games.
we
We
won
won
three
three games.
games,
We lost
lost.
3 games,
Yeah,
right?
no draws. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the thing. I think we've won 3 games and lost 3 games. So more or less, So the point is, when you look at it like now, it's like we lost against Liverpool, we lost against Brest, and we lost against AC Milan. You understand? So I mean, Brest is the only one that you put in out there. So imagine even if we had lost against Borussia Dortmund and won against Brest, you understand, or lost against Atlanta and won against Brest, still you still feel that okay, we're still gonna be in the same position. And then we have 2 games, and what are these 2 games again? One of them is against Salzburg, and the other one is against Lille, if I'm not mistaken. Right? Those are the last 2 games we have. Is it Lille?
The last game against Brest.
Brest.
We
Oh,
already
sorry.
lost to
Yeah,
Lille.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we already lost to Lille. Yeah, Jonathan David, I remember. Yeah, the penalty. So yeah. We play, like Salzburg, and we play Brest. You understand? And as a Real Madrid fan, as a team known as Real Madrid, like irrespective of the form that Salzburg or Brest is, Salzburg actually is in a very shitty form right now. You would expect us to, get over the line with them. So the point is, even like by literally losing against the big teams and just winning against the minors, you're still well placed to qualify, or at least be in the playoff spots. You
Yeah.
understand? So I get what you're saying, that it's a double-edged sword. Okay, like there's an increase in exciting games, but also it also like reduces the jeopardy that comes from big teams. You can still literally lose half of the games, and you can still find your way through with the playoffs come February.
Yeah, definitely. Especially if I'm not saying our Ancelotti will do this, but maybe other coaches will see, hey, Liverpool are already coasting, and then we've already won 3 games. We're probably still gonna make it to the next knockout stage. So if we have big games coming up, if we have injuries piling up, then you might as well play the second string players, or even the youth academy. It wouldn't surprise me down the years, and if we see more of that. But yeah, man.
Yeah, that's true. That's true, man. That's true. Very true.
But yeah, Sunil has a point. He's in the comment section. He says, Vinny, Luca, Endrick, all of them are 1 yellow away from suspension. So that suspension would carry over to the game against Brest, I'm assuming. And obviously, Lucas Vasquez is out in suspension for this one. Interesting. I mean, Vinny,
I
man,
think
like,
the important
yeah,
I think the important thing to look for there is, like, we're playing a home game, and most of the times at the home game, Vinny is well behaved.
yeah,
You understand? So I think the issue will be when we go to France to play Brest, and that will be a game that will be the game just before the playoff ties. So imagine if Vini gets a yellow in that game at Brest, and he's unable to play the playoff tie. This is where the mathematics becomes even more interesting. You understand? Hendrick, I mean, here or there, I mean, I don't want to be disrespectful, but I mean, it's not the end of the world if Hendrick gets suspended. Luka Modric here or there as well. Like Luka's been an important player and here or there, but I mean, this is the thing with Vinicius, and I can actually even trust Modric to get booked in the whole 2 games. You understand? Well,
yeah.
the thing is that you just cannot trust Vinicius Junior in an away ground, to not get booked. Honestly,
No, no, were we always like this? Were we always expecting Vinny to do this, or is it just after this year that he's been piling on in the yellow card department?
no. I mean, this is Vini, man. Not this year, even the year before. I mean, we've always had that argument with Suneda as well, if you remember in the past, about like Vini needs to grow up and stuff like that. And now we can see, like, it's just. I feel like after this year, dude, I think this is the first time I feel like the club has literally like backed him, like, okay, yeah, just go be a big baby on the pitch. The club is literally like laying the platform for him, or like supporting him being a big baby on the pitch. And as we saw at the weekend, he missed the game because he had a suspension, and the game before that as well, he had a 2-game suspension. And this is the thing, like, if I mean, you're the best player in the world, you still need to find a way, to move past these things. Like, what fans are going to taunt you, and if they see that this taunt, is creating reaction, they're going to taunt you even more and even more and even more.
Yeah.
You understand? So he needs to find a way to, and I don't, it's easy for everyone to keep playing the racism card. Honestly, like, I know Vinicius has been abused and racially and this and that, but the red card at Valencia had nothing to do with race.
Yeah.
You understand? So it's just, pure reaction from a little taunt from the goalkeeper, and the goalkeeper was taunting Vini. There is no doubt about that. But Vini reacted and got a red card.
Yeah.
The goalkeeper got the yellow card and stayed on.
He just wasn't smart about it.
Exactly.
I mean, so here's the thing, man. Like, so one thing is his for continuity, his availability for games. The other part is some fans are like really noticing, even when Vinny goes missing, this team almost seems to have a better balance. Obviously, because there's an extra midfielder playing, it's a chance for Ceballos to shine as well, and that makes the team play better? Question mark. What did you actually think? I mean, Las Palmas is not really a big litmus test. They have the leakiest defense ever in the league and whatnot, but still some encouraging signs in terms of the build-up play.
Man, I actually, I just feel like it's about balance. When you have three attackers on the pitch, it doesn't matter if it's Vinicius, Mbappe, or Rodrigo. If one of them is out, you get more balance in the team. As you rightly pointed, it introduces a midfielder, and especially if that midfielder is Dani Ceballos playing the way he has been playing for the last month, or like let's say for the past 6 weeks, it gives you much more balance.
Yeah.
This is just the thing, and that's why I've always feel like in the long run, if this is a team that's going to play, definitely one of the three forwards has to be dropped to create balance in the team. Otherwise, we keep having the same situation that we had against Barcelona and against the other teams that we played in Europe as well. I think it will be unfair to be like, okay, yeah, when Vini is out, the team plays better. No, I just think it's about the fact that Vini goes out and midfielder comes in. And the thing is, like, it's more pronounced because why Vini is the one that has the tendency to get suspended the most out of these guys. I mean, when was the last time Rodrigo even got a yellow card? I can't even remember. You understand? So the thing like Rodrigo is there, Mbappe is there. So like Vini is the one who's like getting red cards and yellow cards here and there. So I think that's why like we can do this. But I think it will be unfair to be like, oh yeah, when Vini is out, the team plays better. No, when one of the three attackers are out, you get a midfield, and especially with the form that Dani Ceballos is in, it provides more stability and more solidity to the team and the middle of the park as a whole.
Definitely, man. I think Carlo is gonna see that maybe he doesn't notice in just one game, but maybe just a few games in the playoffs, maybe we might see and ask for balance again, and then one of them gets dropped, and then Carlo will just notice, okay, we have to go back to the diamond to actually have a chance in the CS Champions League and in La Liga too. Yeah. Let's hope for the best, but another spot from the from this game is actually Lucas Vasquez is going to be playing every game until he cannot walk or something else happens, and his coverage is the same I mean, Valverde is going to play every single minute as well, and he's the backup for the right back. So how are we going to handle that toward the end of the season, man? I just don't see a way how we can get any sort of rest for these two at all.
I don't know, man. I mean, the point is, right now you can see like Lucas Vasquez suspended for the game tomorrow, right? So like we're waiting to see what's gonna happen. Interestingly, apparently, like Lorenzo Aguado cannot actually play as well because like he's not registered with the team and the age limit is over, so he cannot be like part of the B team, like at least UEFA B team, whatever it is. But I don't know, man. I mean, it's gonna be quite interesting. Like, do you now play, what's he called, your best midfielder, which is Fede Valverde as a right back, removing that presence in the middle of the park, or do you take the risk and playing a center back as a right back when you don't even have enough center backs as well? So like this is of course when I'm talking about center back in this case I'm talking about like Raul Asensio. Like I'm not asking Tchouaméni to play there. You understand? So this now begs the question like how do you create the mental gymnastics? So when you play Fede Valverde as a right back, then you play, I think, Tchouaméni in the middle of the park, not at a center back. You give the reins to Raul Asensio and stuff like that. So it's a lot of mental gymnastics there. So honestly, I do not know how this team is going to go forward. And I think a lot relies on how David Alaba returns. Because I think, okay, he had a couple of minutes, like they're expecting him to reach, full fitness in March based on what I read, but I'm not expecting anything from David Alaba until at least next year if he's still here. Next season will be the season because I think he's been out for more than a year, so it's going to be unfair to ask him to just come back and be in the thick of things, especially at the business end of the season. So I think next year will be the right time to see the level that David Alaba is at. So right now would be a big problem. Honestly, I really do not know. Like, yeah, Fede Valverde can do a job. He will always do a job because this is the kind of player he is, but losing him in the middle of the park is also going to create a lot of difficulties as well for the midfielders.
Yeah, I kind of understand why you said Tchouaméni is a no-go for that right back position, but I mean, why not? In case these guys have to get a rest, you play Asensio at center back, and then Tchouaméni, he's tall, he's pretty decently fast, and he can cover the flanks, man. Like, why can't you play him at the right back?
I mean, the same reason why he gets exploited as a center back. No, so like the point is when you isolate Tchouaméni as a 1v1 defender against very fast wingers, I think it's just a recipe for disaster, in my opinion.
There you go. I mean, at least my hope is, he'll still have one center back to cover him, even if the, winger gets past him. But if he's at the center of the park, if he's at the main center back, then it's going to be even more harder. But yeah, man,
Yeah,
it's all
I
up to
mean the
Carlo.
point is,
I just actually, have you ever seen him at right back? No, right? Chaumini not yet.
no, I've never seen Tchouaméni at right back. I mean, we've seen Raul Asensio at right back. We've seen either Militao at right back, but I've never seen him at right back. I mean, one interesting thing would be to try Mendy as a right back. I don't know.
Mendy is right back.
That would be weird though, but I don't know. Maybe that could be something that could be tried. I don't know, but that would be weird. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, the point is right now we're at the point where we don't have centre backs. Lucas Vasquez is suspended. We don't have any other right back. The only option I think right now is to play Federico Valverde there. But I would honestly, personally, wouldn't want to do that. But I think that's the only feasible option. The other one is, it just goes into fantasy land, as I said, like trying, Mendy as a right back.
Mendy is a right back. For some reason, that's just really funny to me. I'm pretty sure we've seen it throughout the years that Mendy has been here, maybe a couple of games here and there when Nacho has not been there. But yeah, man. Okay, let's actually get down into Salzburg's. It's probably the easiest tie that we can have, maybe even more than Brest. Brest have had a few upsets. They're playing decently well, but not Salzburg. They actually deserve the place where they're at. There is some excitement that it's a new team, but they're quite possibly coming into the worst form of their season so far. They're fifth in the Austrian League. They fired their coach, Pep Linders. There's a new coach, Thomas Lesch. He hasn't had a game to test out his players yet because, in Austria, it's the winter break until February or something. So they haven't had any game time. They're fifth in the league, the Austrian League. They're like, 33, 34 or something in the Champions League. It's going to be an easy game, and we can even see some, rotations. Maybe somehow, I don't see how Valverde gets a rest, but maybe some other players will get a rest. Vinny for sure has to play, right? Yeah.
I mean, I don't see any player getting a rest because this is a game that we absolutely need to win. We don't know what's going to happen. I mean, Brest are high flying in the Champions League this year, right? So we don't know
Yeah.
what's going to happen when we travel to France. So this is a game that we are playing at home. We need to win absolutely because the point is, as you rightly said, now if you lose this game, you have the high chance that you wake up next week, for the final game of the match, and you see yourself your 24th. You understand? Whereby a draw or something, could just push you out of that position. So the point right now is that we need to cement ourselves. Okay, I mean, now we're not going to get automatic qualification. We all know and accept that. You understand? The point is we need to put ourselves far away from that last four positions. We need to put ourselves in the 15th, the 14th, something just around those zones, such that even whatever happens, irrespective of what happens on the last day, we have a comfortable cushion. Like you have like 5, 7, 8 teams below you that are not just gonna overhaul you at once. But when you're having like 4 teams below you, anything can happen.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
that's why I think this game wouldn't see a lot of like rotations. I do think would go. I mean, we already have suspensions. Lucas Vasquez is out anyways. So uh, there's going to be a shuffle there. So, but I do think like we would see more or less a team as strong as what we saw at the weekend, maybe even stronger, considering that Vini is not going to be suspended for that.
That's true. Yeah, man. I guess I don't have any more notes on Salzburg. I know the former Liverpool guy is playing there. What is his name? Bayetic or something.
Yeah, Stefan Bajic. Yeah.
Yeah. Wonder how he
Well, actually,
ended
like
up in the Austrian League.
yeah, actually, like Bayetic had a lot of suitors actually, if I remember correctly. But I think Pep Blinders played a very huge role in that because he was like the assistant manager of Klopp, and they gave him his breakthrough at Liverpool as well. So I think maybe that was the reason why he moved there. But unfortunately, like it hasn't worked out for Pep as well. At Salzburg, and as you said, like he's been sacked, and they're doing absolutely horrible in the Australian league, and they're just they're almost like guaranteed to be eliminated because even if they win the last two matches, they would end up I think at 7 points or something like that, and it's still not enough to it wouldn't still be enough unless a miracle happen and every team above them just finds a way and start falling like flies. So I think it's been a horrendous season for them as a whole, but the team and individually. I don't know how he's faring, but you can just imagine. Since the season has been absolutely poor, you can imagine how he's also been faring. There, but yeah, man. Like honestly, like as you said, it's a new coach. Some kind of lot of he's not got a lot of he's not gotten gameplay. I think he's gotten like friendly matches, but like not official matches under his belt yet. So it's a bit of a known entity. So I do think we need to start well. We need to field a strong team as well to be able to get the maximum points out of this game.
Yeah, I'm just glad this game at the Bernabeu, and an easy game. Hopefully, it's gonna be coasting, and then maybe the likes of Arda Güler and Hendrik also has cameos and get goals or something. That's my hope for this game at least. But yeah, let's head
Yeah.
into the ad break, and then we'll talk about a couple of interesting Ancelotti quotes as he previewed this game. We'll talk about the lineups as well. And until then, Doris, take it away.
Hola Madridistas, I'm back once again to remind you that if you want to help and support this project of ours, this channel, you can do so by going to manscaped.com, using our code LBR20 to get 20% off and free shipping worldwide. That's our code LBR20 to get 20% off and free shipping. You help us out and you get a cool product. This time I'm here to introduce you guys to the Chairman Pro. It is a trimmer that features two interchangeable blade heads, one called the blade foil, which is to get that super smooth baby skin, and the other one is called the stubble trimmer, for if you want to still have that little bit of stubble but look a bit cleaner and fresher. You can do both with the same trimmer. It also features flex adjust technology. It adjusts it to your face, how you shave. You can also lock it for a full precision. Best thing is waterproof. You can shave yourself in the shower if you want to. It's completely waterproof. It features 75 hours of battery life, so if you're going on some kind of travel, you can charge it beforehand and it will still have enough battery for the trip. Also, if you're going on a trip, you can lock it so that it doesn't turn on as you go. It has an LED. It's a great thing, and especially now that Christmas is coming up, if you want to send it as a gift to your boyfriend, or if you're a man, get it for yourself or your brother, dad. It's a great gift for any man, and this bad boy can even get up to like 5 days of beard, so you don't even need to trim it down before you can fully shave it. This does it for you. So yeah, get this at manscaped.com. Use our code LBR20 to get 20% off and free shipping. That's code LBR20 to get 20% off and free shipping. Thank you for watching, and back to the video.
Welcome back, folks. Me and Farouk were just talking about the upcoming fixture again in La Liga as well. So we're gonna have a preview and post match, but yeah, let's first wrap up this game, for tomorrow, and get our lineups out and everything. But before that, man, like as usual, Ancelotti had some very cookie cutter answers, especially a really aggravating answer, at least for me, regarding the transfer market. So do you know what he said? Did you actually go through the press conference?
Actually, like what he said, not exactly verbatim, but like he was talking about the fact that there were some rumors, earlier this week that like he's gonna step down at the end of the season. So he more or less said things in the stance that like he wants to be clear about the dates of his departure. He's not gonna decide. He's not gonna be the one who's gonna be decided leaving Real Madrid. Like he will have to be told that his services are no longer required, and that he was talking about the fact that considering that he was hired, or rather he was rehired by Florentino Perez, who just won an election also this week, to continue for 4 more years till 2029. That he was saying he hopes to continue with Florentino for till 2029 as the head coach of Real Madrid. So yeah, just to debunk the rumors that were coming out earlier this week.
Yeah. I did see that. The other thing that he got asked was like, what are we doing in the transfer market? Like, it's not like our situation has improved. We've just been getting more injuries. So Ancelotti basically said, we have a very complete team, quote unquote, and taking into account from last year that last year's absences increase our level of competitiveness and commitment, we are in time to do it again. So he's basically saying like last year's success was down to down to the absences, and that actually increased the competitiveness of the team. That is just mind blowing to me. I mean, this is like you said, man. Like this is the perfect guy to have on Perez's payroll. He's gonna be happy with whatever the management puts out. He's just gonna face the brunt of it. He's not gonna put any pressure on the players. It's just typical Carlo.
Yeah, exactly, man. Exactly, that's true. Yeah. That's very true.
The other question that he was asked about, was Mbappe's position, and this is something that we've talked about in the podcast as well, where we've seen Mbappe switch positions with Vini, and then we've actually seen some better games. But then Ancelotti said why he stopped doing that is because we did it to fix Bellingham's position a bit more offensively and not to try to improve Mbappe's performance. Now Mbappe is doing well, and we have to continue it like this. So if you play inside, you don't need to touch the ball so many times to score, and he's done it many times because his best quality is his run and speed. So we've been asking for it throughout the season, more switching out, especially when all of the Mbappe dribbles aren't really working out. We want him to move wider, and we need to come in central. But I guess that takes away a lot from Bellingham's game.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing, like here when we talk about that balance that we are searching for, like one way or another, like Bellingham's role has to be impacted. Like I feel like he's not gonna have as much freedom as he had last year. It has to be a reduced role. Whether this is just a side effect of because we know that last year there was a hole that Bellingham tried to fill. There was a gap somewhere. There was a position to be exploited. And this season, with the role that Kylian Mbappe is trying to take, he's trying to fill that that gap, that void, and more or less that reduces the space that Bellingham can exploit, and more or less it reduces the impact that he can have in the attacking thought. So I think this is just something that like going forward, in the long run, will have to be there has to be some mental gymnastics around that and on how to deal with that.
It's gonna be interesting, and especially heading into the hard part of the season, we're gonna see definitely a fix in the formation, or at least a game plan finally, because we've not seen one so far.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, let's get into the lineups quickly and then wind this out. So what do you think? So obviously Vasquez is not playing. It's gonna be Valverde for sure, right? Like you said, it's a home game. He probably won't have much to do. So hopefully he doesn't get too tired.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. Like, I mean, I think I will also go with Freddie starting that game, barring any surprises. So I think, like, Freddie starts the game, and I think we continue with the combination of Raul Asensio and Antonio Rudiger as well, as the center backs. And I think we continue again. I don't know if Fran continues. Well, I think Fran has done quite well, but I wouldn't be surprised to see Ferland Mendy, return. It's a Champions League game, and even though it's Salzburg, it's still a big game in the context of what qualification means, and is our position in the table right now. And I think the back five is gonna be completed, with Thibaut Courtois and Post as well. I mean, we're not gonna see Lunin this time around.
You don't think Lunin has a chance here to get a game?
No, I'm not too sure about that, considering the fact that we have a Copa del Rey game against Leganes also. I think in February, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
something like that. So I think I think in those games, or maybe considering also what the table will look like going into the game at Brest as well, we might see Lunin there. But I just think for now, and I think Courtois continues in goal.
Yeah, I agree. So in the midfield, do you think it's the same lineup that we saw against Las Palmas? But Tchouaméni is back. Yeah, he's back in training.
Yeah. I mean, we might actually consider also Kamavinga is a doubt as well. I think he's not fit for the game. So I think like we might see also when let's put into consideration here that we also have Federico Valverde playing as a as a defender this time around. So we have some gaps in the middle of the park. So I think it might make sense to have Tchouaméni just come in and plug in alongside alongside Dani Ceballos. Actually, I think Dani Ceballos is warranted to continue play to start this game. Considering the game he had at the weekend, I think continuity for him has been earned more or less. He has warranted that start again. So I think Dani Ceballos and Tchouaméni coupled with Jude Bellingham, would be quite a nice combination in the middle of the park as well.
Yeah, great. And yeah, up front, man, I think it's gonna be all three of them, right? For sure. It's not gonna be Ibrahim again.
Yeah, exactly. I think like we're gonna have Vinicius Junior, Kylian Mbappe, and Rodrigo. Not three.
Hopefully, someone can get into really good form. It has to be Vinny, man. Like I feel like that's the missing piece here. Like Rodrigo played out of his skin, even at the start of the season. Even when these two weren't performing, Rodrigo was the guy actually carrying the attack. But yeah, Vinny hasn't really picked up form at all. It's been stop, start, and it's just gonna continue until he serves his suspension. So he has to take advantage of games like this at home. He has to bang in the goals.
Yeah, that's very true. Actually, that's the truth. Like, and I mean, I feel like being at home is always like a short thing. Like he really enjoys playing at the Bernabeu, and I think the stats are there to back it up as well. Even away from the Bernabeu, he enjoys playing, but it's just like like there's this distractions that occurs with the fans or the opposition players as well. But at the Bernabeu, he's usually quite comfortable, and quite relaxed. So I think he always enjoys the game there. So I think he's gonna take the game from the scruff of the neck, and but what we've seen from Kylian Mbappe as well, over the past month, is showing that, a rebirth of Kylian Mbappe slowly getting back to to the very best. So I would say, maybe even at the very best uh, of his game right now, just trying to bring others into play, trying to find where the goal is and all that. So I do think, it's been it's going to be, quite an interesting evening for, for the front three, including Rodrigo as well.
Yeah, Ashik is in the comments. He's a bit late, but you can. Yeah, we're just slowly winding this up. He says, "Oh, it's an early session." Yeah, it has been. We just had a tight schedule.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks for coming, Ashik. You can give us your predictions. It's prediction time actually. So Farooq, you want to go first?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a Real Madrid victory, man. I think we have a 4-1 Real Madrid victory.
A 4-1. Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it was the first time so far, that we've had like a super high XG that the game against Las Palmas, and yeah, I think it'll continue.
Yeah.
I think it'll continue, and hopefully, I just want Vinny's name on the score sheet and see some good combination play. But yeah, man, I predict it's gonna be a 3-0. I don't think Austria. I mean, a team who's fifth in the Austrian league, who hasn't been playing since Christmas, they have it in them to actually score. I mean, on paper at least, but yeah, let's see. Ashik says, forget the Champions League. I am now worried about Real Betis. With Anthony, they'll be world beaters. Did that really happen?
Yeah, Anthony has moved to Real Betis, man, till the end of the season.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. So, I mean, at least he's going to be happy. I think a fresh league is going to be a good start for him. Real Betis probably can use him. Ashik also says...
I mean,
go ahead.
Yeah, I actually think, the story of Anthony is just, one of those unfortunate scenarios. Like, Anthony wasn't a bad player. Like, he played for Ajax and he was really good at Ajax, okay? But the point was that he worth the 80 million, 90 million region that United paid for him? Definitely he wasn't. This was a player I think he was quoted for even less than that just 6 months earlier. And United went and paid double of what, he was quoted for. So it's not like it's his fault per se. So when that gets in and then, also like the kind of personality that Anthony has, like it makes it even worse. But I think it's just, this is just, United happening to players, man. Like honestly, United have been really bad for a lot of players, and I think Anthony is just another victim of that, United machine. I think he's not worth the money, but like he's not as like all of a sudden he's not like a garbage player. Like I think he's a player that can be impactful for Real Betis, can have some impact on their team. But yeah, I do think like it's just very unfortunate with the transfer fee and how he eventually got to Manchester United.
I mean, I'm just grateful for all the entertaining memes that we got. The times that we got to laugh against Man United, it made it all worth it. Yeah,
definitely. I mean, Anthony did not help himself at all. Mistake, none of that. Like okay, yeah, he found himself in a very unfortunate situation, but he exacerbated, all of that. Like he didn't help himself, and like he's a very. I mean, when you talk about a TikTok player, like just put Anthony there. He's a player that is literally meant for the memes on TikTok, man.
Exactly. Ashik says, Brazil gave us Pele, Ronaldo, Romario, and hundreds more great footballers, and then they gave us Anthony. What the hell is wrong with this planet? I mean, that's how the world works, man. You get some, you lose some. So
yeah.
Anyways, yeah, it's hopefully tomorrow's game is gonna be good, and then we'll catch you later on for the post match. But yeah. If you still haven't done it, and if you like this episode, do give this a like. And if you haven't subscribed yet, so for some reason, do hit the subscribe button. It really helps us out. And yeah, until next time, folks, Hala Madrid.
Hala Madrid.